When someone walks out of your life, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that you weren't good enough, that somehow if you had been more, done more, said less, tried harder, things would have turned out differently. But the truth is, their departure does not define your worth. Your value was never tied to their ability to recognize it. It was never dependent on whether they stayed or left. People often leave for reasons that have nothing to do with you and everything to do with their own unresolved battles, their own hidden insecurities, their own unmet needs that you were never meant to fix. You have to understand, not everyone who comes into your life is meant to stay forever. Some people are merely passing through, sent to teach you something about love, about boundaries, about yourself. And when they leave, it isn't a reflection of your lack. It's a sign that their chapter in your story has ended. You are not less lovable because someone couldn't stay. You are not less worthy because someone failed to appreciate you. In fact, sometimes the greatest act of love the universe can give you is removal, the gentle clearing of anything that isn't truly meant for you. It's tempting to internalize their absence as a failure. It's tempting to replay conversations, relive moments, and wonder where it all went wrong. But that road only leads to a place of self-blame and sorrow, a place where you diminish your own light, trying to fit into someone else's brokenness. You were not created to shrink, to apologize for your existence, to bend yourself into impossible shapes to be loved. Real love doesn't ask you to become less of who you are. It doesn't punish you for having needs, dreams, or standards. When someone leaves, it's not proof that love is gone. It's proof that you're making room for the love that matches your spirit, the love that sees you, really sees you, without trying to change or diminish you. Love isn't about clinging to someone who doesn't know how to hold you. Love is about being recognized without begging for it, valued without having to prove yourself over and over again. You are worthy, even in your loneliest moments. You are enough, even when no one is there to remind you. The absence of one person does not equate to the absence of love in your life. Love is bigger than any single relationship. It's in your friends who check in on you. It's in the family members who encourage you. It's in your quiet victories and the way you show up for yourself when no one else does. Love exists all around you, and most importantly, it exists within you. Don't let their departure plant seeds of doubt in your mind. Don't let it convince you that you are hard to love or that you are too much or not enough. Their leaving was about their limitations, not your lovability. Some people simply aren't ready for the kind of love you have to offer, and that's okay. You're not here to convince someone to choose you. You're not here to audition for someone's affection. You're here to live fully, to love deeply, and to be loved in return, genuinely, without conditions. When you hold on to your worth, even in the aftermath of loss, you open the door for something better to find you. You shift from chasing approval to attracting alignment. And that's where the magic happens. When you stop begging for scraps and start preparing for a feast. Love will find you again. And this time it will recognize your worth immediately. It will stay. It will honor you. It will match your heart in a way that feels effortless and true. So if someone chooses to walk away, let them. Wish them well on their journey. Bless them with your forgiveness and bless yourself with the freedom to move forward. You are not abandoned. You are being redirected. You are not empty. You are being prepared to be filled in ways you can't yet imagine. Hold your head high. Walk with faith and with absolute certainty that love, real, enduring, soul-deep love, will find its way to you again. Healing after someone leaves can feel like trying to find your way through a thick fog. Some days you feel strong, sure of yourself, and other days the weight of what you lost feels overwhelming. But what if I told you that every ounce of pain you're feeling is actually making room for something greater? Healing isn't just about patching up the wounds someone left behind. It's about clearing the space in your heart for something that's more true, more vibrant, more real. It's easy to think that when someone leaves, you're left with less. But the opposite is true. You are left with more wisdom, more strength, more clarity about who you are and what you deserve. Healing isn't about getting back to who you were before the heartbreak. It's about becoming someone new, someone stronger, someone more awake, someone who loves themselves too much to settle for less again. Healing creates a sacred space in your life where only genuine love can enter. So when you rush to fill the void someone left behind, you risk inviting the same pain in a different form. That's why healing is so important. It teaches you patience, it teaches you discernment, it teaches you how to recognize what is real and what is merely familiar. Sometimes we cling to unhealthy love simply because it's familiar, not because it's good for us. Healing strips away that false comfort. It teaches you how to sit with your own heart, how to listen to its quiet wisdom, and how to trust yourself enough to wait for something that truly honors you. You have to understand that healing is not a punishment, it's a blessing. It's the universe's way of preparing you for a love that won't break you, a love that won't ask you to become smaller to fit someone else's comfort zone. Healing is the way you align yourself with the love you truly deserve, a love that mirrors the respect, kindness, and commitment you've learned to give yourself first. The beautiful thing is that when you heal, you naturally raise your standards without even trying. You stop entertaining people who can only love you halfway. You stop making excuses for behavior that doesn't honor your heart. You stop shrinking just to make someone else comfortable. Healing builds invisible walls of self-respect around you, not to keep love out, but to make sure that only the right kind of love can get in. You might wonder if love will ever come again. You might fear that healing means being alone forever. But love is not something you have to chase. It's something that will find you when you are ready to receive it. Love gravitates toward wholeness. Love is drawn to authenticity. When you have done the work to heal, when you have stitched your soul back together with patience and grace, you won't have to go searching for love. It will recognize you. It will be drawn to the light you carry within you. Sometimes it feels unfair that you have to do all this work when someone else caused the pain. But think of it this way. You are reclaiming your power. You are taking back control of your story. You are refusing to let what happened to you define what happens next. Healing isn't about erasing the past. It's about refusing to let the past dictate your future. Who hates the people who left, the ones who hurt you, they were never the final chapter. They were a necessary part of your growth, but they were never meant to be your whole story. They came to show you where you were settling, where you were forgetting your worth, where you were pouring love into people who had no intention of pouring it back into you. Their exit wasn't your ending, it was your beginning. So allow yourself the time to heal. Trust the process even when it feels slow. Give yourself grace on the days when the loneliness feels unbearable. Know that every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt is carving a deeper capacity within you to hold real love when it comes. And it will come. Love is not a one-time opportunity. It is an endless river, always flowing, always available to those who believe they are worthy of receiving it. You are not broken beyond repair. You are becoming. And when love finds you again, because it will, you will meet it as someone who knows they deserve to be loved in a way that doesn't require losing themselves. One of the greatest shifts you will ever make in your journey toward love and healing is realizing that love isn't something you need to chase. It's something you attract by the person you become. For so long, many of us are conditioned to believe that we have to do more, be more, prove more to earn love, as if love is a prize at the end of an exhausting race. But real love doesn't work that way. Love is not a reward for how well you perform. It's a reflection of how deeply you accept and honor yourself first. When you begin to heal, something incredible happens inside of you. You start to lose the desperation. You stop trying to convince people to stay. You no longer twist yourself into someone you're not just to be accepted. Instead, you settle into who you are. You become rooted, grounded, confident in the quiet knowledge that you are enough, exactly as you are. And in that space of peace, you naturally start to attract the kind of love that matches your truth, not the kind that feeds on your fears. When you chase love, you are often running from a place of fear of being alone, fear of being unworthy, fear of being forgotten. And fear always distorts your vision. It causes you to tolerate less than you deserve. It makes you ignore the red flags, dismiss the warning signs, and stay in places that slowly chip away at your soul. But when you heal, when you truly believe in your own value, You don't chase anything. You don't beg for affection. You don't plead for someone to choose you. You already know you are chosen, first by yourself, and then by the right person who sees the light you carry. The energy you carry within you speaks louder than words. When you walk through the world embodying self-respect, grace, and genuine self-love, you naturally attract people who recognize and honor those same values. You magnetize the kind of relationships that don't require endless explanations, that don't make you question your worth, that don't keep you up at night wondering if you're lovable enough. You attract peace instead of chaos. You attract clarity instead of confusion. You attract a love that stands firm instead of a love that runs at the first sign of difficulty. You see, the relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for every other relationship you will ever have. If you believe deep down that you are not enough, you will continue to accept relationships that confirm that belief. But when you heal and begin to see yourself through eyes of compassion and strength, you create a new standard. A standard where love feels like security, not anxiety. Where connection feels like growth, not exhaustion. The most beautiful thing about no longer chasing love is that you finally have space to enjoy your life. You pour energy into your passions, your purpose, your dreams. You surround yourself with people who uplift you, not just people who fill the silence. You stop viewing love as something that will save you and start seeing it as something that enhances the already full and meaningful life you've built. Love becomes a gift, not a necessity, a joy, not a lifeline. And because life has a way of giving back the energy you put out, love finds you in the most unexpected ways. It finds you in the moments you're laughing with friends, in the quiet mornings when you're simply at peace, in the spaces where you're too busy living to be worried about being loved. Love shows up when you're no longer trying to force it, when you're no longer afraid of losing it, when you're no longer willing to settle for anything less than what you deserve. This is not about becoming perfect to be loved. This is about becoming whole so that the love you attract reflects your wholeness, not your wounds. It's about trusting that you don't have to run after what's meant for you. You don't have to shrink, to chase, to convince, to earn. You only have to be. And in that being, in that fullness, the right love, the real love, will recognize you and stay. Trust yourself enough to know that you don't have to chase love. You are already enough, already worthy, already deeply lovable. And when you live from that truth, love will always find its way to you. Not every loss is a tragedy. It might feel like it in the beginning. It might feel like the world is closing in around you when someone you cared for walks away. The pain can be sharp, raw, and disorienting. But as time passes and the fog of heartbreak begins to lift, you start to see things more clearly. You begin to understand that some losses are actually blessings in disguise. Some endings are necessary so that you can be redirected towards something far better than what you were holding on to. It's human nature to hold on tightly to what we know, even if it's hurting us. Familiarity feels safe, even when it's costing us our peace. We tell ourselves that if we just try harder, if we just love a little more, everything will fall into place. But not everything is meant to be held on to. Some relationships are seasonal. Some people are lessons wrapped in the illusion of permanence. They come into our lives to teach us about our own strength, about our boundaries, about the parts of ourselves we've neglected. Their role is not to stay forever. Their role is to wake us up. When you lose someone, especially someone you love deeply, it can be tempting to see it as a failure, as proof that you weren't enough or that you did something wrong. But healing brings the wisdom to understand that their leaving was never about your lack. It was about their inability to meet you where you were going. Not everyone is meant to walk every mile of your journey with you. Some people can only walk with you up to a certain point before their path splits away from yours. And that's not your fault. That's life unfolding exactly as it should. The blessing hidden inside of loss is that it clears space. It shakes you awake. It forces you to grow. It pushes you to face the parts of yourself that you might have ignored in the comfort of that relationship. Loss teaches you resilience. It teaches you that you can survive what you thought would break you. It shows you that you can rebuild your life stronger and wiser than before. Sometimes we have to lose what we thought we needed to discover what we actually deserve. Sometimes we have to let go of the familiar to make room for the extraordinary. Growth often looks like destruction at first. It looks like endings, heartbreaks, shattered dreams. But beneath all that pain, something beautiful is happening. You are being set free from what was never truly aligned with your highest good. You are being given a second chance to choose differently, to love differently, to live differently. And it's okay if you don't see it right away. It's okay if at first all you feel is the emptiness they left behind. Healing takes time. Clarity takes time. But trust that one day you'll look back and realize that their leaving was the best thing that could have happened for your soul. You'll see how you grew in ways you never would have if they had stayed. You'll see how you found parts of yourself that had been hidden beneath compromise and fear. You'll see how much stronger, wiser, and more alive you have become. Letting go is not giving up. It's choosing yourself. It's choosing to believe that your future holds more than your past ever could. It's believing that you deserve love that doesn't make you question your worth. Love that doesn't ask you to sacrifice your peace for the sake of keeping someone else comfortable. There is no tragedy in someone choosing to walk away from your life if it leads you closer to your authentic self. There is no failure in letting go of what was never truly yours. Real tragedy would be abandoning yourself to hold on to someone who was never meant to stay. So today, even if your heart aches, even if you don't understand it yet, trust that this loss is clearing the way for something greater, something more aligned, more nourishing, more real. Trust that what's ahead of you is so much better than what's behind you. Trust that you are being guided, even in your grief, toward a love and a life that will feel like home. The people who are meant for you will not require you to lose yourself to keep them. They will meet you with open hands, open hearts, and open futures. And the blessing will not just be in finding them. It will be in knowing that you became someone strong enough to wait for what you truly deserve. True love, the kind that will last and build you up. Doesn't come with confusion. It doesn't come with a constant feeling of doubt or uncertainty. It doesn't leave you wondering if you're enough or if you've done something wrong. Real love is rooted in clarity, respect, and consistency. It's not something that forces you to question your worth or beg for validation. It is a love that honors you for who you are, not for who you can pretend to be. The moment you realize that true love isn't supposed to hurt is the moment everything changes. You stop accepting the relationships that leave you feeling drained, anxious, or invisible. You stop settling for love that feels like an emotional roller coaster. Love is not about chaos, confusion, or constant emotional highs and lows. Love is about peace, stability, and mutual understanding. It's about being seen and heard for who you are and not having to prove your value every single day. When you find the love that honors you, you feel a sense of safety. You don't feel like you're walking on eggshells, constantly adjusting yourself to fit into someone else's needs or desires. You don't feel like you have to apologize for who you are. Instead, you feel like you can be fully yourself without fear of rejection or criticism. You can share your dreams, your fears, your vulnerabilities, and your strengths, knowing that the person who truly loves you will accept all of it and even cherish it. One of the greatest gifts that love can give you is the feeling of being understood. When someone loves you deeply, they don't try to change you. They don't try to reshape you into someone they think you should be. Instead, they appreciate you for exactly who you are, and that acceptance isn't passive, it's active. It's a love that shows up consistently. It's a love that is patient, kind, and always honest, even when the truth is difficult. It's a love that is built on trust and respect, not manipulation or fear. If you've ever been in a relationship where love felt like an endless game of trying to prove yourself, you know how exhausting it can be. You know the pain of being with someone who doesn't see you clearly, who doesn't honor your boundaries, who makes you feel like you're always falling short of their expectations. That isn't love. That is a cycle of neediness and insecurity. True love doesn't thrive in a space where you constantly feel unseen or unheard. It thrives in a space where both people are willing to put in the work to understand each other, to support each other, and to grow together. And if you've been in a relationship that was filled with confusion and doubt, you know how important it is to realize that true love doesn't make you question yourself. It doesn't make you wonder if you're doing something wrong. Love doesn't demand constant reassurance or make you feel like you're walking on eggshells. When love is real, you feel a quiet confidence in your relationship. You know where you stand, you know that your partner is there with you, and that you know that your feelings are valued. True love requires no games, no manipulation, and no tricks. It doesn't force you to chase after someone's affection. It doesn't make you jump through hoops to prove your worth. It simply is. It's the kind of love that stays steady in the storm, that shows up even when things get tough, and that never leaves you doubting whether or not you are enough. Love that honors you will always be a source of peace, not chaos. It will remind you of your strength, your beauty, and your potential. When you embrace the fact that real love doesn't confuse you, you set a standard for yourself that you will no longer tolerate anything less. You no longer accept relationships where you feel invisible or unheard. You no longer settle for love that demands you shrink or change who you are just to keep it. You hold space for the love that sees you, all of you, and chooses to stay in it without conditions, without hesitation. And that's the kind of love that will find you again. When you stop accepting confusion, when you stop seeking validation from others, when you stop bending over backwards to make someone else feel comfortable, you attract the kind of love that doesn't question your worth. You attract the kind of love that knows without a doubt that you are deserving of the highest form of respect and care. True love will never leave you questioning your place in someone's life. It will never leave you wondering if you are truly seen or truly loved. It will honor you in ways that feel natural, effortless, and right. So let go of the confusion, let go of the relationships that never gave you peace, and trust that the love that is meant for you will never make you feel like you're not enough. It'll show you every day that you are always enough, exactly as you are. When you're caught in the aftermath of someone leaving, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking you've failed somehow. It's easy to believe that love is a finite resource, that when someone walks away, it's because you weren't worthy of their love. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Love is not a limited commodity, and the departure of one person does not mean the end of love in your life. It's simply the clearing of a space where the right love can find you. You see, when someone leaves, it's an opportunity, not a tragedy. It's an opportunity to rediscover yourself, to reconnect with your own desires, dreams, and passions. It's a moment to turn inward and rebuild, not out of scarcity, but from a place of abundance. Love doesn't run out when one person exits your life. It expands, it stretches, waiting to find a more authentic home. The love that is meant for you will find you when you are in a space of authenticity, when you are whole, when you no longer need to seek validation from the outside world, but instead come from a deep sense of worth and self-love. Healing is not just about getting over someone or moving past pain. It's about embracing the lessons learned from that experience. You can't just leave the emotional wreckage behind and expect things to magically improve. Healing requires active participation. It asks you to examine the choices you made, the parts of yourself that were neglected, the things you tolerated that didn't align with your true self. Healing asks you to get real about what you need, what you want, and what you deserve, and then to have the courage to walk away from anything that doesn't serve those truths. But most importantly, healing is about reclaiming your power. It's about looking at yourself in the mirror and remembering that you are worthy of the kind of love that uplifts, honors, and celebrates you, the kind of love that doesn't require you to shrink or sacrifice your essence. You are not meant to be small to make someone else comfortable. You are meant to stand tall in your truth, knowing that the right love will come to you when you are fully aligned with who you are. Too often, we waste time trying to hold on to something that wasn't meant to stay. We confuse love with attachment, and attachment can make us blind to the reality of a situation. When you heal, you begin to see with clear eyes. You start to recognize that some people were only meant to be a chapter in your story, not the whole book. Their leaving is not a rejection of you, it's a redirect. It's the universe clearing the path for you to step into a deeper, more fulfilling connection with yourself, and eventually with someone who can meet you where you are and elevate you further. Truth is, love isn't something you have to search for. It finds you when you are ready to receive it. And the only way to truly be ready for love is to be whole. You can't give love from an empty cup. And you can't receive love if you don't believe you're worthy of it. Healing is the process of filling that cup. It's the process of nurturing yourself, rediscovering your worth, and forgiving yourself for any mistakes or missteps. It's the process of growing into a version of yourself that is so at peace, so content, and so self-assured that love naturally gravitates toward you. Remember, you are the source of your own love. The love you seek from others must first come from within you. The way you treat yourself, the boundaries you set, the respect you show yourself, these are all signals to the world about how you deserve to be treated. When you are whole, when you are healed, when you know that you are worthy of all the love and respect the world has to offer, you will attract the kind of relationships that reflect that truth. And when the right love finds you, it will feel different from anything you've experienced before. It won't feel like a need or a craving. It will feel like a coming home, a peaceful, grounded connection that aligns with your true self. It will feel easy in the best way. It won't be about efforting or chasing or questioning. It will be about simply being. Being seen, being valued, being loved as you are. So don't worry if they leave. Their departure doesn't mean the end of love. It means the beginning of a new chapter, one where love can find you again, but this time in a way that matches your growth and your evolution. The love that will find you will honor you in ways you never thought possible. It will be the kind of love that fills you up rather than drains you, that supports you rather than tests you. It will come when you are ready, when you are whole, and when you no longer need to search for it because it's already within you.